Steve, it's an absolute honor. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Very nice to be here.
It's we're in Munich, by the way. Hey everyone, welcome to Thoman's Guitars and Basses. My name is Chris, and we are here with Steve Vai. I'm clearly and honestly excited about this because the last time we met, it was in 2022, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was in Nuremberg, and we went through your live rig. We had a little talk. It was fantastic, but the Hydra was missing.
Yes,
and the Hydra is in Europe now.
Yeah, it broke my heart that I couldn't take it on that first run because what happened was I had shoulder surgery and I gave myself time to heal, but then 6 months into the healing, I had to get another surgery. And by the time the tour came, I couldn't even get my arm over the Hydra. But then by the time we got to America, you know, I broke it out and I've had it out at every show since. Yeah, so it's nice that I can finally get to Europe with the Hydra.
I have a couple of questions about this tour because this is, again, like the G3 tours, it's a bit different than your regular solo tours. How would you describe, like, what is your favorite part of putting a tour like this together, like together with Joe, for example?
Well, my favorite part is that I don't have to put it together. You know, we're using you know, one crew, one management team. And it's just, they're bulletproof. You know, they come from Joe's stock. And there's nothing nicer than touring and having an incredible crew. You know, it makes everything so much easier. And on a practical level, it makes a lot more sense because Joe and I are in the same band, you know. And it's a great show, you know, because we play together a lot. We tag team. You know, and I get to play with Joe every night, which is always a thrill. It's one of my very favorite, I would say my favorite co-creative guitar extravaganza, you know, because we started doing it when we were teenagers, you know, and we've developed ears for each other. So it's really nice. It's really great.
When I saw the music video for this song, I Want to Play My Guitar, I was first of all thrilled to see that joy, that positive energy pumping through the screen, and also the song. It's an amazing song. In case you've not heard it yet, you do yourself a favor. It's on Steve's YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, we have Glenn Hughes singing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pete Thorne, amazing band.
Yeah, really great band. And the thing about that track is, and the whole record that we're working on, a lot of it is kickback to our youth, you know, with, you know, mature ears and fingers, you know. And that song, I Want to Play My Guitar, is so representative of that time. Joe and I were talking the other day, and I think on this tour, we kind of are frozen at like 14 years old, you know, the way, how enthusiastic we are about just the shows and playing together and just the way we are. It's like being a teenager again.
I think the world will need a lot more of this positive energy that I feel, which is just beautiful. How do you write these songs? You both are solo artists. Obviously, you make usually all the decisions yourself, or at least the last decision. Like, how does this work when you do like an album or these songs together?
The co-creative process when writing music is very different than, you know, the lone soldier, so to speak. So I've always, in my career as a solo artist, I've always been the lone soldier, you know, as Joe has also with his work. This just happened so organically. You know, it started out as Joe and I were touring with G3, with Eric Johnson, beginning of the year. Or was it last year? I don't even remember.
Time flies.
Yeah, it was last year, I think. I've got a good memory, but it's short. Anyway, so we wanted to extend the tour. And Eric was, you know, kind of tied up. So Joe and I went out as Joe Satriani and Steve Vai with two bands. And we always love doing that when we can. And we just thought, well, why not create some new music so that when we go out again, we have something that people could, and before, you know, I could even basically hang up the phone, I get these two tracks from Joe. And they're the Sea of Emotion, which is a place that we used to go and hang out when we were kids, you know. And fantastic songs. So they came, it happens differently. So with the case of those two songs, they came to me relatively intact.
Okay.
You know? So then I added my stuff to it. And then for the third movement, this started as a very interesting little story. I was playing the guitar for about a year and a half, and I was 13. And I started lessons with Joe when I was like 12. And I'd go to his room, and he had this sound-on-sound tape recorder.
Wow.
And I was just, you know, so attracted to this thing because I loved the idea of recording. I loved the idea of engineering. And there was a sound-on-sound, you know, reel to reel. And I said, well, you know, tell me about that thing. What is it? He goes, well, let's try it, you know. So he showed me this riff, and he was playing these chords, and we recorded it. We got like 8 minutes, you know, as long as the tape was. And then many years later, Joe sent it to me. And I transferred it to digital, and I thought, I'm going to take a piece of this and actually put it at the beginning of the song. So there's like 6 or 7 seconds or so of Joe and I as teenagers.
No.
And we're playing this song, and then I wrote a song. I wrote a track basically for that piece, you know, like out of that piece. And that became the Sea of Emotion Part 3. So that's how that came about. Something like I Want to Play My Guitar. This was a track that Joe sent, and it was very kind of bare bones. It didn't have any vocals or anything. It was just kind of... So in the case of that song, we discussed it a little bit, the form, making some edits, and we got it to a point where I was ready to kind of put a part on it. So I listened very carefully, and I came up with that guitar part that I play.
It's a lovely riff, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of sultry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a stank face built in. Like
yeah, it certainly does. That's what happens when you pluck with your fingers. Face always goes like that. It came out, you know, really good. So then we needed lyrics and a vocalist. And there was a couple of people that we discussed, and, you know, we got the mighty one. And Glenn Hughes just delivered so great. Wow, yeah. And then Joe wrote the first pass at the lyrics, and, you know, we worked on them a little bit, and that's how that came about. But there's tracks that, like, I would just put a rhythm part down, you know, and send it to Joe and say, do something. You got a melody, do something with it, and then he'd send it back. It's really fun. Wow. And there's this one song we're working on where he wrote he wrote a skeleton for the first minute, you know, like these arpeggios and stuff. And then I'm writing the second minute, and then he'll write the third minute. Oh, I love that. And then we contribute on each part. It's really a wonderful process. I've never done anything like this before, but it's very rewarding.
Sounds very like free and experimental, without like any forcing some sort of a work process or something. It's like, no, whatever makes sense for that.
I'm afraid we're going to get arrested.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. So I see that tiny little Spark Mini next to you.
Let me tell you something.
Now, first of all, I just wanted to say thank you to Positive Grid for helping us to make this happen.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I wanted to ask about these. Like, how come Positive Grid? Why did you collaborate with them out of all the other great companies? And like, how did this size factor like this make most sense to you?
Well, like many companies that I end up working with, it starts out with a product that they have that I am interested in. But because I'm in this position where companies are interested in working with me, I can make suggestions and I can change it a bit, and they'll do a signature series. So they had this model. It didn't look anything like this, you know, their regular Positive Grid Mini. And I got one of those, and I ended up getting 3 of them because I just fell in love with them.
Where would you use them? Like at home or in the backstage or?
Everywhere.
Okay.
I had one on the tour bus. I had one. I still have it. I didn't bring one on the tour bus this time because we're using the tour bus differently than the last tour. I have one in my luggage at the hotel, and I have one in my wardrobe case here. So I was using them, and they were just so great because I've gone through every kind of little guitar amp that has been out there. I mean, for many years, I just used like the little pod ones, you know, Pandora kinds of things and stuff. And this, you know, they get overcomplicated, and you got to, you know, it's all digital, and then you got to, and it, you know, then you put a headphone in, and you're lucky if it sounds halfway decent, and there's always latency. I just want something I can plug into and play, and the end, you know. And those little positive grids were really doing it for me. So then, of course, I started thinking, well, what can I do to, you know, alter it? And I hooked up with the company through Laura Whitmore, and we just came up with this unit. Now, I got to tell you something. I've worked with a lot of companies in the past. I've hawked gear. I'm not comfortable trying to sell shit. You know what I mean? Trying to sell gear and like, hey, buy my whatever. But I'm telling you, man, this is the greatest little thing that I think a guitar player could use, because I use the you know, the test is how does it work for me? Like, you know, how does it practically work? Because I'm a guitar player, and I want to just plug in, and I want simplicity, and I want it to sound great. I want simple presets, and I want to be able to go under the hood with an app and have like a space station connected to this thing, which it is. I mean, the editing possibilities that then you upload into this are incredible, you know, and it is so useful and so simple that I want guitar players to check it out. Not, you know, like I say, it's hard because it's my product and it's like I'm endorsing it. But all of that aside, this is so cool. It is so great to have and plug into wherever you're at, and it just sounds great. 4 different presets, and I've named them Fresh, which is clean, you know, Mild, which get a little dirt in it, and Hot, which is, you know, the standard kind of soloing tone that I like, all the delay and chorus and everything. And then Fire, which is just like way over the top, disgusting.
As it should.
Yeah, as it should. But the thing that's cool also is if there's people around and I, you know, want to be private, I just plug the headphones in, and it sounds just as good. And you have aux inputs, so you can plug things into it that will play back, and it has you know, USB, and you can pair it to Bluetooth, and then you can play anything. And this design here is from the Hydra. Yeah, the builders, the Hydra builders, you can see on the Hydra there's this metal kind of, well, this is that. It's the mandala pattern. It goes really deep. Once you get the app, there's many different amplifiers, speakers, effects, and the AI function is just a hoot. I mean, you can sit all day and fool around with that.
Steve, thank you so much for having us. I wish you an amazing tour, to you and Joe and the whole band and everyone and the whole crew, of course. You guys take it easy, of course. See you down there in the comments, and meet you in the next video. Bye-bye.